Hello, friends. I'm so excited today to present you with this short video answering the top 5 questions that we get asked over and over again in the past 5, 6 years. These questions are: what is saffron, where to buy saffron and not get ripped off, how to store it, what to use it for, and how to prepare it. Before we go further, I want to just introduce ourselves. My wife, Matty, and I, we started this company back in 2016 because we are passionate about good food, we are passionate about saffron, and we wanted to present the saffron from our country, Iran, to the whole world. So that's why we are here. Our purpose is to basically, introduce saffron. Not only that, but educate people so they don't get ripped off by many cheeky players in the market, which are not doing the right thing by people. So let's get going answering the first question: what is saffron? So as you can see on the screen, this beautiful flowers, the purplish flowers called Crocus sativus, and the three red threads that grow in the middle of these flowers is what is pulled out, dried, and sold as saffron, the king of all herbs and spices. Saffron has been used for over 5,000 years. There are historical records showing that the ancient people were using it not only for medicinal, but also for arts as well as culinary. So today we know saffron is used in many dishes, desserts, drinks, as well as in pharmaceuticals and arts. So the first thing you want to know when you're going to buy saffron is whether you're buying it from a local store or you're buying it online. So if you're buying it from a local store, obviously you can take it in your hands, you physically have a look at it. Sometimes they even allow you to open it and smell it if you're in a local, like a Persian shop or an Indian grocery. The first thing you want to look at is the packaging. If you're selling the king of all the spices and you don't know how to package it, then the company is either doesn't care or they don't know what they're putting out there. Now plastic actually releases a smell which saffron picks that up, and once it's stored in plastic, saffron will actually have a plastic smell to itself. Now I'll probably repeat myself a few times in this video, but saffron is extremely sensitive. So it picks up heat, it picks up smells, it picks up moisture, and it can damage its goodness, its aroma, its color, and its medicinal effects if it's exposed to plastic. So you want to avoid plastic. Definitely, you want to avoid any sort of container, like as you see in the second picture, which has plastic and metal, because this, yes, it does protect it in some ways, but it allows UV light and sunlight to get in. If saffron is stored on a shelf for a few months, then this will affect it. The next one that you see is a glass bottle. Glass is good, but it doesn't protect it from UV and sunlight. The best sort of container that you want to buy the saffron in is a sealed container that it doesn't allow moisture, light, or anything else to get into the container, as you can see in the last image on the screen. So the next thing you want to do once you bought your saffron in a nice packaging, you take it home and you smell it. Now, the smell of saffron is very unique. It's a woody, floral, earthy sort of a smell. If you have smelled it once in your life, you probably never forget that. That memory will stay in your brain. So whenever you smell it again, you will know. Now, if you take the package home and you open it up and it doesn't have a great aroma, there are two reasons. One could be that you got ripped off. Second one could be that it's a very old product. That means it's lost its aroma. The next thing that we're going to talk about is when you look at the saffron. So you get it home, you smell it, it's in a good packaging. The other way you can make sure that you're not getting ripped off and this is not fake is by looking at the shapes of the stigma. I have enlarged one of the stigmas in this image. As you can see, it looks very much like a flute. So it starts thin and then it grows and it becomes fatter at the end. That's where the pollens actually get in. So, and the color is very deep red. As you can see in the three images at the bottom of the picture, these are some of the fake stuff that people are selling in the market. Unfortunately, it's very sad to see this. Um, they're giving the saffron market a very bad name just to make a few $100s, which is it's just a shame. But anyway, you need to inform yourself. You need to be aware of what you're buying. And here I'm trying to help with showing you these pictures. The first one is actually called safflower. Safflower is not saffron. It's a beautiful flower. You might even have a few in your garden. It grows pretty much very easy. It's used to extract oil from. It does have a little bit of yellowish color when you simmer it in hot water, but it's not saffron. And that's been sold in many places as saffron, and people are actually falling for it. The third image on the right is actually corn silk, which has been dyed red and sold as saffron. So these are some of the things you want to be aware of. That's when you're buying it physically. But what if you're buying it online? When you're buying online, you need to basically ask a few questions. The first question you want to ask the seller is that how the saffron has been dried. So the drying process is actually very, very important. These days, unfortunately, saffron is put through dehydration machines. There are many industrial dehydration machines that heat the saffron to a degree that it actually destroys its biocomponents. Now, if you're just cooking with it and you want the aroma and color and the beautiful flavor, that might be okay if the saffron has been dried in an industrial dehydrator. But if you're using it medicinally, definitely ask this question. And if the seller knows the answer, they will tell you the truth, but you'll pick it up in your gut. You will know that if they're telling the truth or not. What I would look for personally is a saffron that has been dried traditionally. The farmer goes out, they pick the flower before the sun comes up, they bring the flowers in, they actually take the stigmas out, they lay it on a sheet in room temperature, and because saffron grows in very dry, sort of deserty area, within no time, a couple of days, the product would be nice and dry and is packed and shipped. So that's the sort of saffron I'll be looking for that has been dried traditionally, not in a machine. The other questions you want to be asking: does the seller have a money back guarantee, and if there is a return policy on their website? Definitely look for these signs, because if the seller is very proud and confident about their product, then there shouldn't be any problem of giving you money back guarantee, 30 days money back guarantee, for example. If they are not so confident, then they probably hesitate about this. Now, in our own website, saffronice.com, you will see in our return policy that says go ahead and use about 1% of the product. If you still don't believe that you got some of the best saffron in the world, we'll take it back and we give you your money, no questions asked. And thankfully, since 2016, when we started our business, we haven't had one return due to bad quality or people not being satisfied. We talk about how to store saffron. Now, again, saffron is sensitive to heat, to moisture, and to UV light, sunlight. So you want to keep it in a tight container, even if you have some saffron that is, you bought it long time ago, it's in plastic or in a jar or whatever. Put it in a maybe a glass container or a metal container, and if it's in a glass, cover it up with a bag or something so it doesn't get direct light to it, and keep it in a fridge, preferably in the door of the fridge where the temperature is not really cold, but around 5 centigrade. I think it's 41 Fahrenheit. Keep it refrigerated. Don't expose it to sun. Don't expose it to UV. When you take it out and you use it for cooking, don't forget and leave it on the countertop. And amount of time that I've heard that people say to me, I've got some saffron. My daughter brought it for me from Iran or Turkey or Spain, and I've had it for like 5 years. Please don't keep it that long. You want to use your saffron within a year, maximum two. And if it's stored correctly in the right container, in the right condition, it will have no problem. It will still have its aroma and color. So try to use it. Look, you can put it in your tea, coffee. I love it in my soup. We make cookies, we make cakes, uh, any sort of stew, any sort of marination, salad dressing. You can use saffron in anything. There is no limit to it. Let's talk about actually what to use saffron for: culinary usage, medicinal usage, and art. We're not going to talk about art at the moment. regarding usage for food, drinks, I just spoke about it. You can use it in basically anything. And don't worry about its medicinal benefits while you're cooking with it, because obviously it's going to be exposed to heat, whether it's a stew or a soup, and it's not going to be used as a medicine. So you just want to really enjoy the flavor, the aroma, and the color of it. But if you're using it in food, then if your food has a lot of liquid in it, like if it's a stew or a soup, then you don't have to do anything. Just grab a good pinch, about 100, 150 milligram, depending on how many people you're cooking for. Put it in there and try to do this right at the end of the cooking process. So you don't want to lose all the aroma and boil it and boil it. So, for example, turmeric, it needs a lot of heat and time. So you want to add it at the beginning of the cooking process. But saffron, you want to add it right at the end of the cooking process. If the food it doesn't have a lot of liquid, let's say you're doing a roast, what you want to do is basically put a nice pinch in a size of like a shot glass, no more, of warm water. Leave the warm water, leave the liquid there while you're doing your cooking. And right at the end, use that liquid with all of its ingredients, all the stigma, to pour it over your beef or lamb or whatever you're roasting, chicken, seafood. And that way you'll get all the aroma and the color right at the end before you serve the food. I mean, you can use a little bit at the beginning or the middle, but leave the most of it for the end right before you serve, so you have that beautiful color and aroma. If you want to use saffron for medicinal purposes, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands now. In the past 15, 20 years, just about every university has some sort of a research that they put out about saffron, and it's incredible the amount of information that is coming in. We always knew that saffron is used for depression, for eye health, for blood circulation, for sexual problems, for PMS. But nowadays they are coming out with information where they've used saffron on Alzheimer patients, for with children that have ADHD, and all sorts of research that is coming out, which is incredible. I very much encourage you, if you're after the medicinal benefits of saffron, do your own research. Let's talk about how to prepare saffron for medicinal usage. This is quite easy. You can use cold water, and that would be just fine. But the process that I'm showing you on the screen is the process that we actually came up with. My wife, who's a scientist, she did this process, and we had a really great result. And this is using crushed ice. You put a spoon of powdered saffron, which you can do at home very simply. Probably do a video on that as well. You just don't want to heat your saffron in a grinder so much. So do it very gently, however you grinding it. A spoon of powdered saffron, then cover it with about an inch of crushed ice, about 2 centimeters. Leave it in room temperature. Once it melts, you'll be left with this beautiful golden aromatic liquid, which is really just amazing, nature's medicine. You want to keep it cold, so you want to keep it in the fridge if you're not going to use it straight away. But you can also use this within like a week, and every day just do about 30 drops under your tongue, or in a glass of water if you don't like the flavor. And you will soon realize that how quickly this works on your system. And the first thing I noticed personally was the increase of serotonin in my system. So you feel lighter, energetic, more focused. And at nighttime, all that serotonin changes to melatonin. So you get a better rest, deeper sleep. And this is like the beginning of the effects that's going to have on you. If you use saffron for long term, there are multiple benefits that you will have, which is probably outside this scope of this video. We make another video. I will have Matty to speak about that. As I said, she's the scientist in the family. So this is how you prepare it for medicinal usage. If you don't have crushed ice, or if you don't have time to do all that sort of thing, just use cold water. And every time you want to use it as medicine, just prepare a little bit, not a whole lot. Prepare what you're going to be using for a day or two. Keep the rest in the fridge, and you'll be fine. Now, there are other ways of using saffron as a medicine. These are, I suppose, more convenient ways. I love the nano extract capsules. It's just simple, it's convenient. I leave it next to my shaving stuff, and every morning I just take 2 capsules and I'm off. So that's a very simple way of taking it. There are many, many saffron capsules in the market. Please do your own research. What we have seen from the feedback of the people that have been taking it for past 4 or 5 years, it's been incredible. So I'm very confident. If you'd like to try it, this is one of the easiest way, most convenient way to try saffron as a medicine. The other ways are the saffron liquid, the saffron powder in the red capsule there, and the saffron granules, which is our latest discovery. I mean, when I say latest, about a year and so, 2 years. The granules are actually done by a bunch of young scientists in Iran, which for the first time they have been able to um, extract the crocin, which is the main biocomponent that we want out of saffron, using nanotechnology and turn it into granules. And they're using apple as the thing that helps them to extract the crocin. So these granules are actually vegan for people who are concerned about that. And they dissolve in liquids. They dissolve in water. You can basically put 4, 5, 6 granules in your drinking water or any other drinks that you're having, and off you go. It's very simple to use. I wouldn't suggest to put this in any sort of food or dressing or anything like that. Just use it as medicine. The other way that I would probably love to suggest here, which is using saffron in honey. Now, we do have a product called saffron honey. It is not extremely strong, but it's just a beautiful way to add a little saffron to your day with the flavor of raw honey from Sunshine Coast, which is on its own, it's a medicine anyway. We don't pasteurize or heat the honey. It's all raw, straight from the hives to the bottle. And we have a cold process of infusing saffron into the honey, which takes sometimes 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the weather. And this is another way of just using saffron every day. Now, I'd like to thank you for staying this long with me. As a token of my appreciation, I have left a little discount code at the bottom of the page here, love saffron underscore 23. And if you like to get 10% off anything from our shop, please use this code at the checkout and you'll have your 10% off. Once again, thank you so much. Please do share this video with your loved ones or anyone who has questions about saffron. Really appreciate it if you can give us a thumbs up as well. Thank you. Bye for now.